Today we are going to be cleaning our whole house pretty much. Mondays are typically my cleaning day. We have pretty full weekends with everybody home more often, and things get really behind. Like, I don't stay on top of chores as much as I do during the week. So I find by Monday it's often pretty rough around here. I used to be so overwhelmed by cleaning my house, and before we moved here we had a bigger place, and so it was a lot more upkeep. But I think also just the amount of things we had kind of sold this lie that more is better, and I've definitely come to know firsthand that that's not true, and often the opposite is true. Less is more, which is funny because, you hear that saying all the time, but then our world is so taken over by just like consumerism and comparison. And yeah, it's just has been really freeing to learn to be content with less, and then slowly realizing that less has many, many, many benefits. And one of those benefits for me that I have felt in like a tangible way is the ease with which I can clean my home. I'm not someone who has like a regimented cleaning process. Like, I kind of do it sporadically. And like in this video, you'll see I won't even touch any of the bathrooms because I actually did clean the bathrooms earlier last week and they didn't really need it today. So yeah, it's just nice. Like, this video is a little bit chopped up and shortened, but it took me a total of like 2 hours, I think, in the midst of handling lunch, quiet time, all of these things, to fully clean my house, move stuff, mop the floors, dust, all of that. And yeah, that's just really nice. Like, it used to be a days long process, and I would have never been able to accomplish like all 3 of these rooms in so little time. Okay, I actually just went through our DVDs and our movies, but I'm gonna look again. I don't think I'll end up getting rid of much since I did just get rid of some, but it just needs a little bit of organizing. So we don't have very many DVDs anymore. We've actually just been getting back into like physical media. We got a VHS player, but we don't have a super easy way to play DVDs. But I was like, I should show you what DVDs I have held on to. So these are mine that I have held on to. Some of them are kind of like shared. Really only one of them is shared. I'll show you that one first. Okay, so Inception, we both loved Inception. Great movie, so good. Gotta hold on to Inception. So I have Little Women, and I have Pride and Prejudice. I just started trying to rewatch through these, and that helped me to get rid of a few other ones I was holding on to. But Little Women I asked for a few years ago for Christmas, and I don't know if you can see, but it's still in the plastic wrap. So I'm challenging myself, like, I need to watch this. It cannot sit in the plastic wrap and not get used. Anyway, okay, also have held on to 13 Going on 30, The Ultimate Gift, Miss Congeniality, and Get Smart. I really thought I was gonna get rid of Get Smart. I thought this was gonna be one of those, like, I watched it in high school, but doesn't like it. I just think Steve Carell is hilarious. So Matt and I watched this the other night, and he actually agreed that it was funnier than he thought it was gonna be. So I'm gonna hold on to that one for the laughs for a little while. Oh, and then also have season 3 of Friends, because love Friends. Okay, but then for kids, I think we've been getting a few too many, but I've borrowed some from my mom, so I think I'm just gonna take those out to give back to her. I've been hitting the jackpot with like Veggie Tales at Goodwill lately. These are my mom's. Okay, so we have a few Veggie Tales. 4. After lunch, the kids do quiet time. So while they're eating, I'm gonna clean up their room really quick, and then they will just destroy it during quiet time. But, oh well, it is what it is. I've learned to accept that it's just something, they're just gonna be messy when you have small children. Definitely like a type C personality, but I have a lot of type A tendencies, and I can be very rigid, and I think I've become much more type C since having kids, because you kind of just have to be. But yes, the type A in me, especially with my eldest, was very concerned with cleaning up. And I used to clean up after her like all day long. All throughout the day, I would just go behind and pick up after her. And one of the best tips I feel like I can give moms now is just have like 1 or 2 specific times of day that you are going to clean up. We usually do ours, we do like a family cleanup time at the end of the day as part of our like bedtime routine. But I also make them clean up after their quiet time now that they're like having quiet time and playing with toys during quiet time. They get more bored and they make a much larger mess in quiet time. So I typically have them do a little pickup after quiet time, like I said, and then we just do the whole house after dinner. My son is definitely the destructive child. My daughter, I never had to worry about like breaking things really. She did color on the walls once or twice. In general, she was pretty careful and chill. My son is the one who has pulled their curtains down multiple times, so I've just given up on the curtains at this point. He like has broken the toy shelf from trying to climb on it. He has broken his crib and we had to like screw it back together. He's just so rough on things. He's always climbing on things, always jumping off of things. So if you have any tips on how to manage that, go ahead and let me know in the comments. One of the first things I learned about when I started pursuing minimalism and was just overwhelmed by our home was about visual clutter and how much visual clutter, which is clutter just on your surfaces, on your walls, basically anything that you see. If things look kind of cluttered, it sends you into like a state of stress, even subconsciously. So the first step I took was really trying to remove as much visual clutter as possible. And as we've minimized in other areas, we've kind of added some things back. Like I've started putting art on the walls again, and I've started to decorate in more intentional ways and maybe more like functional ways. Like I try not to just have a lot of decor for the sake of decor, but if it has a purpose or meaning to us, then we will enjoy some decor. But one area that is really, really helpful for me is just not having anything on my table. I used to always have kind of a centerpiece or something on the table, and I've kind of gradually minimized it where I went down to a candle or something small. And then finally I realized like our table just collects so much anyway. And whenever we eat, it's a small table. We have to move whatever is in the middle and put it somewhere else. So I've really just enjoyed keeping the table clear. We have candles that we use for dinner sometime, like taper candles. Every once in a while, I'll like try leaving those on the table because they are pretty and very functional, but I find I just always end up taking them off again because I'm like, yeah, this just looks crazy. If anything else gets put on the table, it just looks a little crazy. our room is definitely the most cluttered and chaotic room in the house, and it's partially because it sort of functions as our garage as well. Not fully. We have a lot of those kinds of things in our downstairs closet, but this is the room where we end up storing some things, and it has been a work in progress we've been here almost 2 years now. But this is also where I store things that I am decluttering until they get out of our home, so that also lends to the chaos. So that's what you'll see. I already have a pile under my window that is a few things I know we're going to be getting rid of. Like I said, I have been aware that this is the most problematic area in our house right now, so I have really been focusing on trying to minimize what's in our bedroom. I want this to be our calm space where we can go to bed, and it's not horrible. I think we both are aware that we want it to be a calm and peaceful space, so we try to manage it, but it definitely is very quick to get a little messy, and even if we kind of shove things in our closet so we don't have to see them immediately upon entering or waking up in the morning or going to bed at night, it's still there. And we mentally, it's still there, just kind of waiting to be dealt with. So that is kind of what I was tackling today. My husband also has done eBay reselling. So he has some things just laying around that he needs to sell on eBay, and he's trying to get through his inventory, and then hopefully we'll be kind of done with that and we can move past it, because it just takes a lot of time for him, and I think he does enjoy it, but he's realizing, I think, that it's just too much on top of everything else. And also for us, it requires a lot of supplies. So under our bed, we have empty boxes. You already saw the empty boxes behind the couch. On our cube shelves in our room, there are more packing supplies. There's the bubble mailers and a few, what do you call them? Fillers for packages, protective things, paper, bubble wrap, stuff like that. And then even in our dresser, he has a drawer of some things that are currently listed that he's waiting to be sold. And there's also a bunch of tape in there, and he has a scale because he has to be able to weigh the packages, not to mention the inventory that we have to hold on to. It's been a 2-year process now of him trying to sell off everything that he had, and we're finally getting into the final stretch, I think. And I think we're both ready to just be done with that for at least a season. I have been decluttering for years at this point. It's kind of like a muscle that you just work on and you get better at it. I've been really excited because this year specifically, I feel like I've seen a lot of really good fruit coming from that. And so I would say maybe like 2 years ago, I started to care a lot more about things like sustainability and quality, and I started to really, try to be more mindful with what I was spending my money on and just be more responsible with my purchases. But I definitely have struggled with like a shopping addiction, and I feel like this year I'm finally experiencing freedom from that. And I'm just really happy about how that has positively affected our finances. We look at our bills each month and we're spending so much less than we used to, but I'm also excited to see how that has impacted, maintaining our home. And I feel like we're finally at a place where I'm not bringing in more than we are sending out. And that also feels really good. And I'm just excited to see where this takes us in the future and the ways that it can benefit our family and our home. Okay, so here I am just going through my wardrobe a little bit. My closet is where I struggle the most to be minimal. I just really love like personal style. I was really into David Kibbe's like body types for a while and color theory and all different like methods of kind of discovering your personal style and curating it. I feel like I have a lot of different personalities kind of, and I just like to decide who I want to be each day. And so that's made it really challenging to pare back my wardrobe. But I am proud of myself because I've made a lot of progress and everything at least fits in my closet now, and I don't have to store clothes anywhere else. So that's been really nice, feels really good. Okay, just really quickly wanted to show you guys what I am decluttering today. I've got 4 pairs of shoes here that I know I feel of. I think I'm going to try to sell my Chacos. I might try to clean them up a little bit. They look pretty good, but I think I'm going to let go of this tent. I just haven't been doing photography, and I currently don't see myself getting back into it that much. Also, I'm like, I got along just fine without this for so long. Like, I got this my last year of doing it, and like, I think I did it for 2 or 3 years before then, and I never had one of these, and I was okay. I was thinking about seeing if any of my photographer friends would want some of this stuff. So a lot of this is stuff that I had gotten specifically for weddings and like flat lays and stuff. So I'm gonna see if anyone would want some of that stuff. And then I had to buy socks last year, and they came in a huge pack, and I'm not going to go through them quickly enough where I feel like I need to keep holding on to the extra pairs. I'm going to let those go. Brand new socks. I'm pretty sure I'm going to let this. It's a duvet cover and a pillowcase. It was Shiloh's. I was holding on to it for Judah. But I'm like, realistically, right now he prefers to use my yellow blanket
So that's why this is being stored and not used right now. So I think I can just let that go. And I think I'm gonna get rid of my Columbia rain jacket because I got like a trench coat one, and that's what I will wear more. This is actually a microphone for my camera for like video. I'm on the fence. I might hang on to this, but I'm gonna put it in this box for now and see how I feel about it. This is a baby carrier that I'm gonna sell online. I just need to get rid of the listing it. I'm gonna get rid of this sweater vest. I think it's just a little too short and cheap looking. I have a puddle jumper float of the kids that we don't use anymore, and a few kids' clothing items, extra glasses, white things that I don't use. Sometimes, okay, I don't really use these for my glasses much, but I did keep a few because I use them for my camera lenses. So now you know. And then I bought 2 pairs of these from I Buy Direct, and I really love this frame, but both of my frames broke in the same spot. And I had messaged them about getting a free replacement, but I just keep not getting around to it. They want me to send them like pictures of these and stuff like that. And I'm like, I either need to get my button gear and do it, but also I don't need a free pair right now. Like, I need to go to the eye doctor again. So it might have been so long by now that they're like not gonna honor that anymore. I don't know. I just need to figure out whether if I'm just gonna give up on that or if I'm gonna do it. And then this is a math box that I think Matt is gonna sell. He's been holding on to it for a long time. But that is the haul for today. And then this is just a box. Oh, it is squishy. This is a box of stuff that's going back to my mom. I borrowed some books from her. I borrowed calendars from her. And then the VHS tapes from earlier. So that's gonna leave and go to her house. But yeah. This is the aftermath of quiet time. Not too bad actually today. They just moved the bed.
So it's around 3 p.m. I put on a show for the kids so that I could get the kitchen cleaned up. Usually I'm pretty good about just doing the kitchen in the morning, like unloading the dishwasher, and then I try to keep up with it throughout the day. But on this day, we happened to have our water shut off in our community. They were doing some work on the pipes. It was supposed to be off from 8 a.m. until around noon, and then it kept getting pushed back later and later. So it's now, like I said, 3 p.m. and I'm finally getting to the kitchen, which has been driving me nuts all day, not having water. I kept forgetting. And thankfully, when my husband left for work, he was able to fill up a bucket of water because I also forgot that this was going to happen today. So definitely caught me a little bit by surprise, but it all turned out fine, and I was able to knock it out pretty quickly. Also, because of the water situation, I couldn't start doing laundry until now. So I figured I'd try to throw a load in and then fold up some. Laundry is the bane of my existence, but it's much more manageable now. I do try to wash a load a day or every other day, and then I kind of let it sit in the dryer or the hamper for a little while. So what you're seeing here is probably about like 2 or 3 days worth of laundry, and we've pulled from the dryer in the hamper, so it's not a ton, as you can see. That is it for today's video, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm hoping to put more content out. I've got some ideas and hopefully a little more time now that the kids are a smidge older. So I will see you next time.